So PlayStation and Naughty Dog have announced another edition of The Last of Us. Believe it or not, they managed to announce yet another edition. I don't know how I feel about this one. I'll be honest. Is it really necessary? We're going to talk about that. I'm going to show you guys exactly what this is. We're going to talk about it in the full scope of things. Check out the PlayStation blog about it and all that good stuff. If you do enjoy this kind of content, be sure to like, subscribe for more. Sorry if I've been a little bit quieter on the channel lately. I've been working a ton over on the Nintendo channel. If you're into Nintendo content, check it out. I've been covering a ton of the Nintendo Switch 2 and will continue to do so leading up to launch and Lord willing post-launch as well. It's going to be a good time. Definitely love creating that content over there, but I miss you guys on this channel also. So we're here to cover some stuff. So let's go ahead and jump straight into this. First things first, by the way, if you didn't know, the Last of Us show got renewed for a third season. I don't know why. I don't know what they're going to cover in season 3. Then again, I don't even know how season 2 technically ends, so for all I know, season 3 is like the second half of the second game. I don't know if season 2 is supposed to cover the whole entirety of the second game. That's actually something I'm not entirely sure about. I don't know if that information's out there. I probably should have checked. But anyways, listen, I mean, that's not the point I was trying to make. So the point I'm trying to make is just that they're renewing it for a third season. And honestly, I'll be honest, in season 1 there were some things I liked. I think Joel, casting Pedro was a perfect casting for Joel. I think Bella as Ellie was the worst casting I've seen in a very, very, very long time. I don't know why they would do that. Not trying, it's just not good. It's not a good casting. Okay. I'm sorry. It's not good. It's just not fitting, but yeah. So now we're getting a third season apparently of that. I personally did not like some of the creative liberties they took in the first season, especially the whole section where they were supposed to go to the school and there was like that whole section, and instead they just kind of deviated from what was a cool story in the game to push some like really hardcore narrative. But anyways, let's go into the PlayStation blog. The Last of Us Complete is what they're calling it. It's cool artwork. I'll give them that. Hits PS5 today, physical collector's edition coming in July. What is this? Well, it's basically both games in one incredible collection, which is so weird because they just came out with The Last of Us 2 like remastered or whatever, and then they came out with it on PC, the most recent as well. But this is it basically. Here at Naughty Dog, we have exciting news to share with The Last of Us fans, whether you've been with us since the debut in 2013 or just, jumping into the games now or whatever. It's now easier than ever to experience the story. It's becoming so like, I don't know if is convoluted the right word. It's such a mess because we had The Last of Us, then we had The Last of Us, what did they call it? It was a remaster, I think, on PS4. And then on PS5, they called it The Last of Us Part 1. I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. It's a great game, whatever. I'll take a remaster of a remaster. It was kind of like a reworking. But then they remastered The Last of Us 2, which felt a little bit strange. But they added some cool stuff, I guess, whatever. And then it came to PC. And now they're coming out with The Last of Us Complete, which mixes The Last of Us Part 1 and Part 2 in their most recent editions into one complete bundle. Now, available on the PS5 console itself today, it'll allow you to experience The Last of Us Part 1 and Part 2 in one package. It makes it easier than ever to experience the story in PS5. It just packages it all together, basically. It's just a repackaging, I guess, of the game. And that's why I'm like, was this really necessary? But the collector's edition has a cool extra tidbits. I mean, again, really cool artwork, so that steelbook's nice. Last of Us American Dreams comics 1-4. I'm assuming this is only going to be, it's right down here. It's exclusive to the US. Of course it is. These things from PlayStation always are. And then you get a set of 4 lithographic art prints, which again are cool little additions, but for the most part, the Last of Us Complete doesn't make sense. Again, I like the white and red contrast. It's kind of the contrast I use a lot with my own stuff, so I'm a sucker for it. The black, the white, and the red. It looks clean. The artwork is really nice. It looks really, really clean. But yeah, basically all this is in a collector's box. They say capturing the humanity at the heart of our story through a beautiful, intricate design. Included a steelbook case with artwork and basically everything I just explained a second ago. I don't have to reread it to you guys. But yeah, it says The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered not only allows you to experience an enhanced edition of the sequel, but also dive behind the scenes, all that. So it's The Last of Us Part 2 remastered that's in here, and that's all they're pretty much explaining. It's The Last of Us Part 1 and Part 2. Yeah, again, some cool extra stuff for the collector's edition, for some really hardcore collectors out there. But again, this just leaves you scratching your head like, was this necessary? Naughty Dog won't make another Last of Us for some reason, right? They scrapped the Last of Us multiplayer for some reason. You know, they're milking like The Last of Us Part 1 and Part 2 really, really hard right now with all these different editions, which some of them, like, again, I'll say some of them made sense, right? We had Last of Us originally came out on PS3, coming out on PS4. It was like, okay, you know, we're going to make it a remaster, so it's better graphics and lighting for the PS4. All right, fair, fine. I mean, I was for it. And even when they came out with The Last of Us Part 1, they somehow made, you know, the PS4 version will look way, way, way better. So I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. Last of Us Part 2, like I said, the remaster felt a little less, you know, incentivizing, I guess, if that's the right word, a little less logical, but whatever. Fine. Why not? But now it's like, now you're taking those two games that are sold and you're like, well, let's bundle it in a package and repackage it and sell it as an additional version of it. But we're going to cancel Last of Us multiplayer. We're not going to make The Last of Us Part 3. Instead, we're going to make some like weird sort of, and again, I'm not trying to hate on it ahead of time because we haven't seen a whole lot, but from the trailer, personally speaking, it looks kind of weird. The, you know, intergalactic game elements look cool. The main character looks completely uninteresting to me personally. If you're into it, if you think it looks super interesting, then you know, obviously, you know, more power. But again, it feels like a lot of the games that people really, really loved. Uncharted, we haven't seen anything of in a long time. We thought we were gonna get a whole like maybe spin-off with Nathan Drake's daughter. Never seemed to happen. There's rumors, and maybe that's something they're working on now. It's just rumors. Last of Us, like I said, Part 1 was so good. Feels like Part 2 was kind of like a mixed bag. You know, some people really hated it. Some people loved it. Some people were kind of like, well, in the middle. There's redeeming qualities, but it's also not what I really hoped it would have been. I'm kind of there in the middle. I'm like, there's parts where I'm like, this is so stupid, and there's other parts where I'm like, well, okay, you know, this is interesting here and there, and I can see, you know, what they did here and there. So yeah, I'm one of the persons kind of like in the middle where it feels like a mixed bag of stuff. But I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. What do you think? Let me know in the comments section below. I wanted to talk about it because when I seen it, I was kind of like scratching my head. I'm like, really? Another edition? And it's like, it's not like it's adding anything really. It's just sticking The Last of Us Part 1 and The Last of Us Part 2 in a package together, repackaging it, tying a little pretty bow on it. In this case, really clean, nice looking artwork. I'll admit. And then saying, here you go, here's another, you know, package of it. So who is this really for? Well, the collector's edition, I guess, is for like really hardcore fans. Although I think a lot of this stuff came with some, I think it was the collector's edition of The Last of Us Part 1. I don't know if those lithographs exactly were part of that package or not. So that's, you know, maybe for some really, really hardcore fans. And then otherwise, just people that have not yet played the two games and want the two games in a complete package. So I don't know. What are your thoughts? Does this leave you scratching your head and saying, was this really necessary? Or are you like, hey, sure, great, awesome, you know, and do you plan to pick it up? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. If you enjoy this kind of content, leave a like, subscribe for more. If you absolutely hate my take, well, that's fine as well. You know, we don't all have to agree on everything, but I hope to see you guys soon in another one. Tell them friends. Game on. Thanks for watching. Hey you! What are you doing? Join the Skeleton Army! Do it today! Don't wait till tomorrow because tomorrow might never come. The Earth is gonna fade, that's inevitable. The next second of your life's not even promised, so you better think about where you're going, and you might as well just join the Skeleton Army. Plus, we do kinda like you a little bit, so it'd be nice to see you around here. But if you don't want to, hey, your loss. See you later!